What is a thing that makes you think, wow, I'm really getting older? I was talking to a friend in his early 20s about something that happened in the 90s, and I suddenly realized that it was for him as if someone older was talking to me about something that happened in the 70s. Picking up my nephews from school and getting asked if I am the granddad. I'm 37. Edit: since this thread is getting popular. For clarification, it was my nephew's friends. So around 6 years old. No grey hair. But obviously something about me made him think I'm older. I used to think that hearing the music I grew up with at the grocery store was the sign that I'm getting old. Now, I realize that hearing the music that came after the music I grew up with at the grocery store is the real sign that I'm getting old. Kids posting online. They will post something that they find funny and I find myself saying, what is this stupid shit? Have they gotten dumber or have I gotten lamer? When I see new popular musicians or superstar athletes and then realize they're under 20 years old. Seeing the demographics at concerts of bands I like as a teenager. Talked to my nephew about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Mentioned Sarah Michelle Gellar. And he says who? So he was completely unaware. The entire series he was talking about is a remake of the 90s series. And I had no idea they had remade it. Dizzy face. I just received some plastic organizers for my kitchen and I'm kinda bummed that I'm gonna be away all weekend, so I will have to wait until Tuesday to clean and organize the fridge. Selecting the year I was born when registering for something online. I have to scroll so far down. I heard a song from my university days on a classic rock station. Everything creaks and what doesn't creak hurts. My doctor is younger than me. Watching your parents get older. Not knowing who half the acts at a music festival are anymore. Knees creak. Everything is heavy. Finding out I'm a lover of my mam's spaghetti. A guy the first work with wasn't even born when Shrek came out. The days are getting shorter. An hour is like 10 minutes if I'm not paying attention to the clock. A day is like a couple of hours. A week is like a couple of days. Etc. Hearing the two Gen Z kids at my job site talk to each other. I'm only 30 but I don't know what the fuck twin, slime, glizzy or capping mean. I don't care enough to ask. My country's health service sends oldies a stool sample collection kit. So they can screen for ass cancer. I got my first one in the mail recently. Going to bed feeling fine. Then waking up the next morning feeling sore from sleeping. I mean, really? Might not be the best example, but I remember being 19-20 and hearing about that 40-year-old guy is perving on 18-year-olds and thinking, well, those 18-year-olds are clearly adults and what is the big deal? Now almost 40, I look at 22-year-olds and wonder if they are over 16. I go on that True Rate Me subreddit and see 18-year-olds that I think could be 12. Those guys from 20 years ago were sick. Hearing the Lord of the Rings trilogy referred to as a classic movie. My approaching 60th birthday. Meeting someone who has no recollection of 9/11. I voluntarily went to bed at 8:30 p.m. last night. Whenever I get a random pain, especially back pain, fuck that. Can't we find a permanent painkiller? Teens calling me sir. I can't understand some teen slang phrases. Throwing my back out 'cause I sneezed too hard. When I watch an episode of an old show and realize that I'm older than the main cast or getting close to the parents' age. I used to think I was like Malcolm. But now I think I might be Hal. I now get way too excited over houses with real hardwood floors. When I started to identify more with parents on sitcoms instead of the kids and their dumb shenanigans. I'm 33 and seeing attractive college-aged women makes me feel dirty. Also, talking to 20-somethings reinforces the realization that I have nothing in common with them. 15-year-olds walking around in police uniforms. Sleeping weird then waking up feeling like I'm dying. Just seeing people born after me being over 18. Like people born in 2006 are gonna be 18. My God. People posting their childhood memories of PlayStation 1 games. My first games were Alley Cat, Leisure Suit Larry and Rogue. Humor. I dunno what the fuck kids are on about. And then when I bring up dead parrots, witches being made of wood, and spam, they think I'm a boomer. I'm 34, I'm not old. I just randomly saw a Tony Hawk YouTube video yesterday and I felt old. The guy was young and always talked about when I was a kid. My inability to tolerate music in grocery shops. Kill the music. Be quiet. I just got my first retirement check from the state of Wisconsin. Grin. The mirror. TikTok dances. I don't get it or its appeal. One time I said I'll take a rain check and my younger co-workers looked at me all quiet. Not knowing what I said. People not knowing what VHS tapes, DVDs and CDs are. Or what a DS is. Enjoying clean sheets. All the doctors keep getting younger. Exercise injury. I play football. Ankle injury, I do pull-ups. Tennis elbow, I do dips. Pectoral tear, I do squats. Hemorrhoids, loudly crying. Trying to understand TikTok trends like the one that's making the rounds right now. The content creators that do the NPC fetish stuff. Is it soothing? Is it hot? What is the hook? Went to the grocery store. Enjoyed the music. Songs from my 20s now being in classic radio shows. The sub where they post photos of things and ask what they are. And they're just normal things I used to have. I no longer have any idea who anyone is in entertainment anymore and they all look like they're 12. My left shoulder is wearing out from repetitive stress from out of position and overhead welding. So far it's manageable with physical therapy and occasional cortisone injections. But I'll most likely need surgery at some point. In my head I'm basically still 25. But the gray hair, scar tissue, and wear on my body keeps pointing out that my actual age starts with a 4 now. My knees. I now drink Ovaltine, and eat Werther's chocolate eclairs sat in a dressing gown lol. My feet genuinely hurt for a few days when I'm walking a lot in the wrong shoes. That wasn't a problem a couple years ago. Seeing a 90s or even worse Euro party. That I don't know the new popular celebrities anymore. Sure, I know some of them and the ones that have carried over from when I was a bit younger. But for sure I'm out of the loop on a lot of newer ones and I know it will only get worse. The passing of time. My dick. It has 2 modes of operation, doesn't work properly in either one. Hearing music from 2003 on classic rock radio stations. Also, listening to radio stations. Grey pubes. When I start complain about the good old days.